All right, next we'll go to Spencer.
Along those lines, Kevin, obviously with the injuries, you haven't gotten a chance to evaluate all these guys probably as fully as you wanted to. But Andrew did mention earlier in camp that keeping 4 is something you guys will consider. Is that something you think is still on the menu despite how some of these injuries have sort of played out and derailed some of the evaluation?
Yeah, I think we'll let it play out as we get closer to the cut down. Those are all conversations that we are always having, but those are tough decisions. I'd like to keep everybody, but not realistic.
Cleveland Browns coach Kevin Stefanski said in a recent report with local reporters that he is not going to be able to keep all 4 quarterbacks. And after evaluating preseason 1, going through the training camp and all of that, I am in hopes that they release Shedeur Sanders. I hope they release him or trade him. I want him to go somewhere that wants him to be on the team. Not for his fame, not for his jersey sales, not for the attention that he brings to the organization, but to really give him a fair shot and opportunity. And we know that Kevin Stefanski isn't able to do that. We know that he wants Dylan Gabriel to be his quarterback. We know that Joe Flacco is probably going to start. We know that he's probably going to keep Shedeur on the team just to linger him around. We probably know that they're going to release Kenny Pickett, right? We know these things. But really, to be honest, we just really want Shedeur to have a fair opportunity. Even if that means he's the number 2 quarterback on someone's team, we want him to have a solidified position and opportunity. I just don't feel like he's going to get that on Cleveland. If you watch the press conference after Shedeur played the preseason game number 2 against the Carolina Panthers, it was just a lot to work on. He wasn't excited. He wasn't impressed. If you go look at my older clips, he just talked about the defense and special teams. He really didn't have anything to say about the offense. Nothing really good to say, right? He was just really dealing with Shedeur. He just a quarterback that's there. You could tell that he's just not enthusiastic, right? I don't want to go too crazy, even though, in my personal life with my friends, I go real crazy about how I feel they look at Shedeur, but I'm not going to do that on here. But when you look at Dylan Gabriel, they love him. He could do no wrong. He had 2 turnovers, and for the coach not to be like, there's things he needs to do better and work on, that was his mistake, he blamed it on the receivers. Anybody that's played football know that, sometimes your routes don't go as planned, things doesn't happen, but as the quarterbacks, they get all the rewards, they get all the blame too. And so he was unwilling to give any blame to Dylan. It seems like he's, covering for him or protecting him or whatever. And we know that's the quarterback that he wants to be. So I foresee that quarterback 1 will be Joe Flacco to start the season. He will announce Dylan Gabriel at number 2. I don't think that he's going to release Shedeur or trade Shedeur, because if he do, he's going to lose the attention. He's going to lose the media games and all of those things. And, as quiet as it kept last year when he was going through this process, there wasn't that much attention. There wasn't that much direction on Cleveland Browns, right? And so ownership is not going to let him release Shedeur, because it's like, where are we going to get this attention from now? Who's going to watch us? Nobody's going to watch us. There's been indirect shots been taken at Shedeur, saying things like, he's an entertainer, and I know people try to cover it up with definitions of, I've always said that. I always said that media, you guys are entertaining and us, we're competitors. And, but if it smell like a snake, look like a snake, most likely probably is a snake, right? So we know they dissing Shedeur. We just got to keep it real about it. We're not even upset. We showed Shedeur what he could do. He showed the world that he's ready. When they put up the completion statistics versus Dylan Gabriel, he showed. The only quarterback that's on the team that you can really put ahead just off of experience alone is Joe. That's it. Nobody else. And so I hope they trade him. I feel like we keep going through this. Now, he said through the next couple of weeks, he can't keep all 4 quarterbacks, so he will be releasing some. And I hope he trade or release Shedeur, man. I want a team to pick him up who's going to give him a fair shot. We already know it's the football. They're hitting hard. They moving quick. We know it's going down. We know it's going down, right? And we know some quarterbacks are going to get hurt. And they're going to need some good backup quarterbacks who can come in and take their teams to the playoffs. And I feel like Shedeur can do it. Somebody brought up, a media analyst brought up a great point. In the preseason, a lot of times quarterback struggles, and you be like, well, they got to learn the game. They got to catch up, right? With Shedeur, you already feel like he understand the game. You feel like he know what he doing. Are there going to be mistakes had? Absolutely. Are he going to be times where he intercepts, turn the ball over, get too deep in the pocket and sack? Absolutely. But will he get better? The ceiling, that's the thing. That's what the Cleveland Browns is failing to realize. The ceiling. How high can Shedeur go? He could be a generational talent. Can you say that about any other quarterback on the team? I don't think so. Can Joe Flacco get you back to another Super Bowl? I don't think so. Not because he don't have the skills or the experience, but I think his time is done. Is he a solid quarterback? Absolutely. Will he win you games? Absolutely. But we all see what the future is. But I don't think the Cleveland Browns, them as an organization, them as a fan base, I don't think they want him. And I respect that, right? As your team, as your organization, you can run it and dictate it how you want. I just feel like they should release him. I feel like they should release it or trade him so a team or somebody that actually want him can get him. Now, I know what someone's going to say. Well, if somebody else want him, they would have got him before the 5th round. And I have to agree with you. But the other portion of it is we know that they were in cahoots. We know what they were trying to do. We know what they was trying to stop, right? But they done seen him play. And at the end of the day, he can play. And you know what? He might not have got drafted high, but all the teams who need a quarterback, unsure about their quarterback, or need a strong number 2 is definitely looking at him. You know why they really probably ain't reached out to Cleveland? Because they know Cleveland going to want something crazy for him. They're going to act like he a first-round draft pick that you're trying to trade for. That's how Cleveland going to act. Because they know that he's a bargaining chip. Not because they want him, but because he brings a lot of attention and notoriety. All of their games have been nationally televised so far. That has never happened before. Not all of them. Nobody watched Cleveland Browns, but Cleveland. People in Cleveland who are Browns fans. Nobody else. We don't watch it on the regular. Now when Deshaun Watson was playing, we'll watch just to see how he was doing. But then that turned to just watching clips. Even Deshaun Watson a little scared. You see he back running. You see that he's trying to get his starting position back. He's saying things like, I should be back this year playing. You know why he doing that? Because don't nobody want him to start. Not Shedeur. Because they know what time it is. It's a lot that comes with that. And Cleveland can't handle it. Now, I do have my picks of where he should go, who he should back up. But I'm going to refrain for that. You know, all he wants is an opportunity. And that's all we want to give him. So, I want y'all to see these clips. You're going to see Kevin Stefanski talking about, you know, all these quarterbacks aren't going to remain, and all he's going to focus on is, you know, this week. He said he's going to name a starter this week, which shouldn't be no surprise who that's going to be. If it's not Joe Flacco, I'm going to be surprised, and I'll come back on here and say that. But you'll see that clip next. Peace.